you have to remember, she has so many male friends. Not one of them wants to date you. Not one of them has a friend for you.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah. No, it's true. It makes sense.
I always wonder, because I'm like, you're better than the average woman and you've leveled up all the way. But as a woman, I'm not saying don't level up, because it's good to be ambitious.
Yeah.
But do you want to level yourself out of the playing field? Hi, beautifuls. Welcome to Women, Wine and Wisdom. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Naomi, but some people do call me Polaka. This podcast is all about sharing knowledge, different top tips and tricks on how to navigate through life.
We will all be on this journey together, and as we don't have all the answers, we hope to learn from you, and we hope that you learn from us. So,
tune in.
Okay. Hi, guys. Welcome back to Women, Wine and Wisdom. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Naomi.
And today we obviously have an interesting topic for you. But before we go into that, as you can see, we've got a beautiful box of wine from Naked Wines. We normally actually get wine from Naked Wines anyway. We have a subscription with them. But today we got a special box gifted to us by Carmen Stevens. So it's from Naked Wines. All the wines inside are from a winemaker called Carmen Stevens. And she's the first female qualified Black South African winemaker.
Listen, let's give her flowers.
Amen to that. Because I can't even imagine what barrier she had to break through for that.
No, 100%. It's such a male-dominated industry. So.
And I'm always surprised because I'm like you said earlier, like women consume wine so much. However, there are so many male sommeliers.
Well, that is very true.
There are so many male sommeliers.
That is very true.
And I actually see a lot more male sommeliers than female sommeliers on TikTok, and for example, talking about wine.
And that's why we need to, this is why this platform's here.
Exactly.
The women are taking over.
Exactly.
In the wine industry.
We need to start taking over the wine industry.
We need to.
But also, on that note as well, shout out to Naked Wines for that, because they heard Carmen's story, I think, in 2011. And essentially, they helped her kind of set up and I think fund her winery.
That's amazing.
It's nice that we had their support. People hear your story and people want to help. So if you have any stories that you want us to share, let us know. But yeah, so we're going to open... Well, the box is already open because I opened it earlier.
She was being a nosy Parker.
As usual. So we have 5 reds and 1 white. We're going to crack open the white because, as you can see, guys, so many new things are happening. So today we are in a...
new studio.
Exactly. And guess who forgot the wine opener? We did.
We forgot it.
It happens. Literally.
We'll get it cracking. But, guys, we've got something else to tell you. Wait. I don't think they're ready. Oh my God. Guys. Okay, wait. Jimmy, just give me your hand. Just give me your hand. Look who's engaged, guys.
Shy face, honestly. Thanks for putting me on the spot.
Listen, we are so happy for you.
Thank you,
I am elated.
Honestly, to be honest, it's been so nice because I feel like all my friends are genuinely like really happy for me, and it's honestly very touching. Yeah. What a baby. I love Mary. So yeah, honestly, the other day Nate calls me. She's like, "Oh yeah, Jimmy, something podcast. We're talking for about 20 minutes. Next thing, 2 hours later.
Anyway,
wedding planning. We were literally on the phone talking wedding. When we were supposed to be talking podcast,
we were just like, oh, and this venue, oh, and this coordinate, oh, and this,
I like that, and this best MC, and this.
Guys, let me not lie. We are going to be having to give some updates in each of our episodes about where we're at with the wedding planning because
guys,
I'm
summer wedding for sure though.
Come on.
Summer babies, so
it has to be.
And our birthday soon.
I know.
I'm so excited.
I know the countdown.
Yeah, we're turning 30 fine.
100%. I was about to say, well, don't give them the real age.
Girl.
No.
30 fine or 30 and some big dollar change.
Exactly. Come on. 30 and some change. There we go.
Now I'm going to give you this wine. I'm going to start with the white because obviously you know what we like. I'm going to put this box on the floor.
All right. Ew, this is looking tantalising. I know
tantalising.
I'm saying that because I haven't drank wine in a while and I'm really excited. Yeah. What about this bottle, guys? Oh, so cute. There is a quote, and I live by quotes. I love quotes. There's a quote behind this bottle from Nelson Mandela.
Love that.
And it says, if you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart.
That's so cute.
That is such a cute thing. So
that is a very cute thing.
So,
I have two things
I
to say
love
on that
this.
though.
Go on.
One, we're going to incorporate that quote somehow in this episode because I think it makes
Absolutely.
sense. So today we're going to be talking about relationships and 50-50. Yes, it's a topic that's talked about all the time. However, it's back up again and we're going to talk about it.
We're going to talk about it.
And then the second thing is like a wine fact. Guys, why do you think the wines have the years on them? Do you know why?
Do you?
We won't tell you this episode. We'll tell you the next one.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
All right. So
let's have a sip. Crack it open.
Okay, let's crack it. Let's crack. Oh,
is it not cracking?
this is embarrassing.
Let me try.
Do you know what, guys? Let me not lie. Like, there's just been.
No, this is actually.
Thank
hard.
you. It's hard. I know some of you are watching it thinking, "Why can't you open wine?" It's hard. We'll be drinking water this episode at this rate.
No, but wait, we need to be able to open it with something. Well, guess not.
Oh dear.
We thank God.
Facing it.
We got there in the end.
We got there in the end.
I broke my nail.
Listen, better late than never.
Honestly.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you hold the glasses so I can pour.
While we do that, we might as well start gisting.
Oh my gosh, Jimmy, how far are you on wedding planning?
Venue selected, which obviously means the date is selected. I've spoken to the videographer. Shout out him. I won't say his name yet, but we had a real interesting conversation last night. Funny, he actually just messaged me a minute ago because I was doing up Love a Girl on Instagram, posted me and Bay. Did you see my story?
No.
So I posted me and Bay.
Oh.
And he was like, sorry you.
Already?
Literally. Sorry you, trying to make us singletons jealous. So he was cracking up. But yeah.
I love that.
So other than that, no. Is there anything else? But you know my mum's in town.
Oh,
yeah,
listen, it's game on.
Yeah, it's game. My mum's in town. So for those of you that don't know, my mum lives in Nigeria. But she's back, wedding planning in full swing.
She's
Listen,
ready.
every day, 8 a.m. I wake up, I've got like 7 things to review. Yes, ma. So it's going okay. And he is currently in Vegas right now, living his actual best life.
Listen, he deserves it. He deserves it. Look at that ring. Just give them one more flash. Just one more flash.
So yeah, I'm allowing him to enjoy himself. Not that I don't anyway. Live your life. So let me move this mic closer to me before they say, Jimmy, we can't hear you.
You already know.
I already know. That's what I'm like.
4 seasons in, you're like, yep, I know how the game goes.
Listen. Okay, so 50-50. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
I mean, me personally, I'm pretty sure we all know how that works. I don't think so. I just don't feel like 50-50 works for anyone.
No.
But culturally, they say it does for some people.
For who?
Non-black people. Well, yeah. Can I say Caucasian?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, Caucasian people. A lot of them do 50-50 in relationships, and it works. So why is it that black people cannot? And a lot of black people do actually, though. They do when they're forced to.
Yeah. It's a bit of an interesting one because I think with a lot of black people, I feel like they end up falling into the 50-50 even if they don't always anticipate it.
Facts. But the thing is, why?
That's a good question. Why?
Do you know what it is?
Why do you split with your girlfriend?
I just don't feel like no relationship can ever be 50-50 because nothing in life is balanced.
Nothing.
So if we're doing 50-50 on finances, and this is why women end up looking real old real fast because you end up doing 50-50 on finances, then you end up doing, what's it called? You don't do 50-50 in the household. You end up doing most of the cooking, most of the cleaning, and also financially as well. For example, like if you're doing the cooking, you're more than likely going to be buying the food.
Yeah.
You're picking up things on the way home.
Yep.
And also, another thing is when things are running out in the house, the man does not remember.
Nope.
When there's no soap, and there's no toothpaste, and there's no deodorant, you think it magically appears there. Where does that come from? It just flies into your house. It doesn't just fly into your house. So I feel like no relationship is ever 50-50.
No.
Financially as well. And also I just feel like if a man's forcing you to do, again, culturally, it depends. But if a man is like, yeah, 50-50, I just don't think he loves you that much. Because you know what? Somebody else will come along, and he'll pay 100%.
Oh dear.
Maybe not 100%, but you know what I mean.
Oh my God. There was actually something I saw online. A few people probably saw this as well from Andrew Tate.
Okay.
Oh gosh, I'm not even going to remember it off the top of my head. I'm going to have to find it. But he talks about how, depending on how, like, he talks about rating yourself as a woman. And if you're like an 8 and above,
yeah,
basically you won't ever have to pay for anything in life.
There is actually some truth to that, I think.
And then if you're middle bracket,
Yeah.
you won't have to pay for everything, but you may pay for a few things here and there.
Okay.
If you're below average,
Yeah.
you're paying for everything.
Okay.
Like, everything.
Okay. And this this actually makes sense.
You didn't even cheers.
Cheers, babes. By the way, I love your lipstick.
Oh, thank you. I love your look. Oh, that is delicious.
Yeah, that is really nice.
That is delicious.
I'm trying to figure out what I smell. Peach, yeah.
Pear?
Definitely some form of like pear or apple.
Yeah, it's like a proper stone fruit.
I can literally. Beautiful scent as well. Like the aroma's gorge. If this was chilled, this would be almost literally insane. Summer wine for sure.
Oh my god! Do you know? I took a sip of this, Carmen Stevens. Let me tell you, I took a
well
sip
done, girl. You did that.
You did this.
You did that.
I took a sip of this, and I literally closed my eyes for 2 seconds, and I pictured myself sitting on the coast in South Africa, watching the water waves crashing against the rock. I haven't, and I'm about to go.
Oh my god! Yeah, I need to just for this.
Listen, if you want us to do a Women, Wine and Wisdom in South Africa, let us know. Just fund us.
You know what you said is really interesting about the Andrew Tate thing, because I was watching a podcast the other day, and it was talking about like being a man's dream woman. Yeah. So if you're, and this is what I was saying, like some people will do. The man will pay for everything for the woman that he wants to.
Yeah.
And the man will pay for...
Was this not Nice and Neat by any chance?
I fucking love Nice and Neat, guys. Oh my God, you know that. So first of all, I'm so excited that Jalon's engaged.
Oh,
do you remember I've been saying it all the time? I'm like, they're going to get engaged, they're going to get engaged.
100%.
Because it's so interesting. But it's interesting that they had a baby first. You know what I mean? Because obviously, I'm assuming that it wasn't planned. But honestly, the way he speaks about her, the way he's like intentionally, I'm like, I know that man's looking after her.
For sure.
100%.
Yeah. They were courting each other for some time. Like they knew each other for a while.
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm super gassed. And no, it wasn't actually Nice and Neat. It was a woman's podcast, you know, and it's a faceless podcast, which is really interesting.
Oh, faceless podcast.
Yeah. So for example, like it's just her
voice,
speaking. Yeah. You can't, and then it's like images, pictures. Yeah. So, but you never see her, which I think I quite like. It's quite mysterious.
Maybe we need to turn it up and do that.
Please, our final. Let them see us. But she was basically saying as well, like, men like categorize you straight away, and I think I actually took a picture of it because I wanted to definitely show it to you.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really interesting.
That's interesting.
So it's very interesting that you brought that up. Okay, so you have the desperate woman, the good time girl, and I feel like a lot of people fall into the good time girl and good enough girl, which potentially falls into the bracket that Andrew Tate's talking about of average or just below average, because I feel like a man will still date a below average woman for a good time.
Yeah.
So good enough girl, and then you have the dream girl, and then the girl that's out of their league.
Ooh. Yeah, because in that top bracket, so he says, what makes you a 10? Yeah. What makes you an 8 or a 9 is like, you won't pay for anything, like your life will basically be funded. But then what makes you a 10 is just the status in who you're dating. So you're probably dating celebrity status at that point.
Oh, really?
So it's like a different bracket altogether.
So can you not be a 10 and date an average man then?
He's not saying that, well, from the way I took it, wasn't that you couldn't date an average man. It's just that you open up a pool of, you could end up dating a celebrity.
I see.
So like you could probably pull an Anthony Joshua, for example.
Okay, that makes sense.
But you could also pull like a 9-to-5er that's doing well.
Yeah. What I want to know though is what makes a woman a 10? Because if no one's perfect, what makes you a 10?
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
That's a fact. But the thing is, I feel like it wouldn't just be beauty for, like, obviously beauty is the first thing I would definitely say men look for. But I feel like there's going to be way more that you're going to have to bring to the table, especially if you do not want a 50-50 relationship. And the thing is, do women have the characteristics? So, for example, a man will always tell you that he wants you to be his piece. Do a lot of women have the characteristics of sometimes shut their mouth and be the piece when necessary?
God gave us mouth.
For a reason. Me as well. I'm not saying be quiet too because I will still speak. But
there was something I saw. So there was something in online that Shane sent to me, which I was cracking up at. He basically sent me a meme where a guy said, in the Bible it says that men will arrive to heaven 30 minutes before women. And
because
and his wife was like, where in the Bible does it say that?
Yeah. And
then he turns to Revelations where it says that in heaven there'll be 30 minutes of like peace.
Fair. I
was cracking up.
I kind of makes sense though. Kind of makes sense though.
These men,
they're not well.
They're
crazy.
They love us really,
but they think we're crazy as well. But no, I just could. I feel like if he sees you as either the dream woman or out of his league, there is no way he's going to make you pay 50-50 from my perspective. Because some people will be like, that's not true culturally.
Yeah, 100%. A guy, like, what makes a man feel like a man versus what makes a woman feel like a woman are two different things. And I think with men, a lot of them want to be providers. I think that to them is what tickles them, what makes 100%. Them feel like the man.
Yeah.
So, and part of that would be, I'm going to make sure that you're paid for. Like,
you're looked after, you're well kept. And do you know what I always say? I'm like, your woman is a reflection of you. So if your woman's looking all dusty and she's paying 50-50 and she looks run down and tired, that's because you're not doing your job as a man. Exactly. And it's a fact.
100%.
Anybody can argue if you want to, but good luck. Honestly, so I was somewhere last night and I was looking, and there was this girl and this guy. And I was laughing because I was like, you look old. And the thing is, I'm sure I'm older than you, but you look old. This man is not the one for you.
Yeah, he's tiring her out. Not
tiring her out. Babes, I'm like, I don't know what it is that you need to do, but he ain't the one.
Nah, 100%, because a guy would level up for you. He'll want to do better.
Exactly.
He'll level up for you. And like, there's this guy that I know who, he met a girl. He really, really liked her. Really, really liked her. And yet she lives in America. He's from here. He would send over money to make sure she gets something to eat for lunch.
And you know, so funny, Americans earn more than we do. So he said, but again, this goes back to the whole thing. And this goes back to the fact that it's not just about money. It's about mind, thought, behavior, energy as well.
Wow.
With 50-50.
Wow.
Ooh. Wow. There's a counteract.
There is a counteract. Because he's not 100% into her.
So why is he sending her money?
Girl.
Actually, is he some form of fetish? Because you know what the thing is, a man would also do that to feed his ego.
That. So I think he puts her in the middle bracket. Where he, I think, would probably, and this is probably where it starts. So if you're in the middle bracket, your guy would probably start off by looking after you, trying, and then it starts to
dwindle. But that's what you were saying
and
earlier.
it's because he doesn't fully find her attractive.
Oh,
so he only, I think he sees her as maybe like a 6.5, 7. But
that's above average though.
But it's not his ideal. He feels like he could probably still do better. So for him, it's like, you'll do for now. But in doing so, he's making sure that she's looked after and kept. But it will probably start to dwindle
at some point.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of interesting though. Because I wonder how she feels. And again, on a scale of like, 1 to 10, where do people rate themselves? Because apparently people see themselves as better looking than they actually are. So for example, if you're saying she's a 6, she's probably a 5.
Well, that's the thing. But I think this is where it becomes quite tricky because it depends on what you like and what you look for. I think with men, there's less categories than there are for women.
Okay, elaborate.
So, I feel like a man can fancy a girl who has no body.
Facts.
A guy could fancy a girl who has just bum.
Facts.
A guy could fancy a girl who's all boob.
Facts.
A guy could fancy a girl who has braids. A guy could fancy a girl who wears wigs. A guy could fancy a girl who's tall. A guy could fancy a girl who's short. It varies for women.
It does.
Whereas with men,
most
people will say 6 foot.
Tall. Makes money.
Like athletic.
You have 6 pack.
And beard. Or like it's also so generic. Like you can have 20 different girls in a room and they can all fancy the same guy.
Facts.
Whereas
but the men will fancy different women.
Exactly.
That's very true. But the thing is, we have types.
Can be cheesing with the mic.
I like it. It's like ding. You know, when you go for a massage and it's like ding. To start the massage or end it. No, but men, we say this right, but men have types. So like they might like you because you have big boobs, for example, or big bum, or whatever it is, but they might like you to sleep with you. When they're gonna wife you, I think it's they go for their type.
But that's the thing. I feel like more men like. Let me not be rude.
Be rude. No. Say it. Get it out. Get it out.
But I'm not gonna be rude. I'm a changed person. I'm even wearing pink.
She's minding her manners.
I'm minding my manners. But like I feel like with men, you can see they could say that they like a girl with a big bum.
Yeah.
And they could be with a girl with a big bum,
Yeah.
but
she's ugly.
Yeah.
That's normal though.
And I feel like it can vary so much when it comes to women. Like the scale is so like.
But I feel like, do you know what it is? I feel like as a woman, depending on how ugly you actually are though, there's ways to package yourself.
There are.
To make yourself look better. Because I know people with body, but your face is not nice. But you'll still get men though. But your package is correct. Like, you do well for yourself. Not, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm going to be rude again.
Okay, go ahead, girl.
That's how I felt with AD from Love is Blind. I don't know if you've watched it.
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
What happened? Who's ugly?
Well, her face card was 10-10, but her...
Body?
No, sorry, her body was 10-10. Her face card was not given.
Ooh, it was declining.
At all. Okay, I say at all, but that's a bit rude.
Basically.
Yeah. I feel like if she went the other way on the scale...
Yeah.
I don't know if she'll attract...
Okay. But that's normal though. I feel like, again, body would always attract men.
But the thing is, I feel like with men... I feel like, yes, women do typically all go for the same... Like, we'll say that their type is all kind of like the same, i.e. 6 foot, beard, whatever.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to it, a lot of women will marry the guy based on how they are treated.
Facts.
And how the man looks after
Actually,
them.
no. I said facts, but I take that back. I take that back. Because, you know why I say that?
Why?
Because many women marry useless men. Let's be honest.
They do.
And he still treats them like bum. Literal yash.
But then that falls into the desperation women that you were talking about.
Facts.
When a woman allows a man to treat them like that, that's just utter desperation. So forget their looks, forget everything. At this point, everything goes out the window, and they'll if they could have a baby with a frog, they'll sleep with a frog. So it's
frog, you know.
At that point, it's.
But yeah, that's why I'll take that back because I'm like, I feel like a lot of people do marry people that are not for them, and you do get desperate at some point. Like, women get desperate at some point, and I feel like there's a range of categories that make you desperate. Because a lot of women, initially, when you're younger, you might be like, I'm not settling for 50-50. I'm not dating no man that's under 6 foot. I ain't dating a man that's got no beard. I ain't dating a man that's got... As you start getting older, the desperation starts.
Well, actually,
if I turn him to the left a little bit, he's looking fine. If I move him to the right a little bit, he's looking good. You start angling them, you start packaging them, you start making them better than they actually are.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. Like I said, a man that wants you to pay 50-50, you should reconsider. Because 100%. Life is not about 50-50. If I'm at 80%, and if he's at 80%, for example, I need to be the additional 20.
Yeah.
And we need to add up to 100. There's no 50-50. We need to just be 100.
Well, this is the thing. I think at the end of the day, I'm a woman, you're a man. We both have different roles to play in a relationship. I think there's too much pressure on the whole 50-50 thing, whereas I feel like, why don't you just level up? Why don't you just push? I feel like in this generation especially, we are seeing more women becoming so successful, being entrepreneurial, figuring out ways of monetizing, making money, and being creative. And a lot of men are just...
I got a topic. I got doing nothing.
Doing nothing.
I got a question on this. I was talking to Bae the other day, and he was like, "Jimmy, you're being judgmental." And I wasn't actually being judgmental. So basically, there's this girl on TikTok and Insta. Like, she's got loads of followers. She's okay looking. Her body's average.
Yeah.
But doing really, really well for herself. Like, every time I see her, for example, I'm like, hair laid, makeup done on point, blah, blah, blah. So what I was trying to say to him at the time, I was like, she falls into the category where I'm like, you are so up there that you're probably going to be out of a lot of men's league because financially. Do you know what I mean? You're pulling up in your, for example, let's say your Mercedes, or you know what I mean? You look on point all the time. You're always on holiday. Your Instagram is showing that you're here, and there. How many men that as you just described, can actually keep up with that lifestyle?
Not many.
Not many. Cool. Yeah. So you already take yourself out of that 50. You can't even do 50-50 because, again, they're not even going to approach you.
No. Yeah.
2. And he was like, am I being judgmental? Because I was like, but it's interesting that she's still single. But it's not. Because what I was saying to him, I was like, you have to remember, she has so many male friends. Not one of them wants to date you. Not one of them has a friend for you.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah. No, it's true. It makes sense.
I always wonder because I'm like, you're better than the average woman and you've leveled up all the way. But as a woman, I'm not saying don't level up because it's good to be ambitious. Yeah. But do you want to level yourself out of the playing field?
Well, this is the thing. It goes back to that whole thing of like, when I first got my property and my mum was like, don't go around like shouting that you've got a property because to a lot of men, it can be a bit of a deterrent. And it's not to say that you shouldn't appreciate your accomplishments or you shouldn't, stand on business when you've achieved things. No,
Stand
of
on
course, because
business.
that's
on
that's
business.
important. But it's also important for a man to feel like a man. It's
Yeah.
important for him to be able to come into a situation and feel, and he needs to feel like he's needed. Like
Yeah.
you need a man in your life.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's gonna be like, well,
Even if
you
you
clearly don't need me.
Pretend.
Like, oh, my sofa is broken. Can you help me fix it?
Listen, yesterday.
Just something.
Let me tell you something. You know what's so funny? Yeah, men are so funny. I was laughing yesterday because, listen, if I went to my door, yeah, looking ratchet, yeah. So basically, I got a ninja delivered yesterday, and that
Love
is
a ninja.
mad heavy. So, like, if I went to my door looking ratchet, yeah, I'm 100% sure, yeah, that man would have just left that thing on the doorstep. When he opened the door, yeah, I was dressed up because I was going out.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh," he's like, "Would you like me to bring it in?" I'm like, "Yes, please."
Can you prop it on the counter, please?
Absolutely, because who's lugging in? Meanwhile, you just saw me lift up this heavy ass box and put it on the floor.
Nah.
So men will do what they want to do for you if they feel like you need it. So you need to
Yeah.
actually act like you need them,
Yeah.
even
for
if you
sure.
don't. But we're not saying don't be ambitious, because you want to be a
No.
power couple and you want to have brain.
Exactly. And that's the thing. I think that's the difference. I think you shouldn't have to dumb yourself down in order for a man to fit into your life. It's
You
just about
shouldn't.
making sure that you're choosing the right man who can help you, but also who also has ambition to keep on going further.
Yeah, but
not
also
somebody who's just gonna sit there and be like, okay, so my girl's making money, so I'm just gonna sit here casually.
yeah, casually and be put in the bin, because that's where you're going next. That is where you are going next. What do you mean casual? Like, how can you?
Some people are mad.
I don't know about that though. But again, when we talk 50-50, is it only about finances?
No. Because it's also household as well, like household chores, or even with the kids.
Okay.
Hello, hi. Okay, so in school, I loved maths.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you need to know how to count money, you will love it. You will love it.
100, 1,000, 2,000. But like, I also like when it comes to like science or science projects. You know, like when kids are bringing home all these things. Mum, I need to create this dinosaur
You're
for
like,
arts and crafts, and you're just like,
not for me.
you better go and call your dad.
Yeah.
And I think when you have a family, 50-50 is very important, because when they're going to school, who's dropping them? Who's picking them?
Yeah.
Who's arranging
cooking?
their packed
Who's not
lunch?
cooking?
Who's
Yeah.
ironing their clothes?
Mm-hmm.
Who's, so 50-50 expands beyond finances. It also is in the
Emotional
household,
support.
emotional support.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Mm.
So, but the reality is, and I think the way life goes, relationship goes, it is never going to be 50-50 on the number. It will always be like, maybe you take on a little bit more responsibility here, he takes a little bit more responsibility here, but in total there is a balance.
Exactly. But this is why financially, it's not. I wouldn't recommend doing 50-50, because at the end of the day, in all likelihood, when you're pregnant, it's that you're the one that's taking off time.
Well, this is the thing.
When you have maternity leave, you're the one that's taking off time.
Yeah.
So you make no money.
Well, this is, and I do feel like a lot of men need to stop looking at. Oh, this is gonna cause some hanger. I do feel like sometimes men need to stop looking at their women's income as income.
Fair.
Because I feel like, exactly as you're saying, when a woman goes on maternity leave or is pregnant, or even after the child, they may not be able to make as much money as they were before.
Facts.
Because they don't have the leisure of prioritizing work. So now, if you're paying £2,000 on your mortgage every month, and you were relying on your woman bringing in 1,300, what's going to happen now that she's on mat leave? Because some companies are only paying 3 months full pay.
Yeah.
Some are
My
not.
company is 3 months.
Yeah. I think my company is 0. But
but you know what's crazy? Because I used to be a teacher. I thought that was outrageous when I first said it was 3 months. But actually, apparently, a lot of corporate places is 3 months.
Good. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then it starts to drop. And then by 9 months, I think they're not expected to pay anything at all. So you'll get...
Is it not like 3 months and then straight into statutory?
3 months. It depends what the setup is with your company. But I think the statutory pay finishes at 9 months.
Oh, right, okay.
So even if you decide to take a year, there's probably 3 months of that year that you're getting nothing.
Baby, are you hearing this?
So when a man is looking at his woman for financial support in their household, and you want to have kids, you want to breed her up, and you're telling her, we want to have 6 kids. Hello, who's paying for all of those?
You know, so funny. So we was at dinner the other day, And then like one of the guys was like, yeah, he wants 7 kids because I think he comes from a family of 7. And I was just sat there thinking, Jesus Christ, Jesus.
Yeah.
7 children.
No.
You're getting 2 at a max. And you know what? This sounds terrible, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Go on.
I feel like you should only have 2 kids for a man anyway, because they ever try to act brand new.
Yeah.
Collect your kids and be moving.
Be going.
Yeah. Because I feel like, this sounds bad again, but it's more difficult for another man to accept you when you have more than 2 kids for somebody.
Yeah, for sure.
So, having 7 kids for one man, who is going to look after 7 children? How?
Can your own man? Okay, your own man doesn't want to look after them.
7 of them, you're taking the piss. Nah, a whole netball team. Rude.
It is a lot. Like, but you also got to be wise with who you're having kids with.
Facts.
Because I feel like a lot of people are just out here like, oh, I just want to be a mom. I just want to have a baby, and you're not thinking about who you're having kids with.
It's because you become desperate after a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's more than that. Like, you've got to worry about childhood trauma. If you want to set up the best situation for your children, like let's say you want to put them in private school, for example, if you're with an idiot,
the idiot can't even look after himself.
He can't look after himself. You're talking about trying to have conversations with him about sending them to private school. It's not going to happen.
It won't happen.
Like, you've really got to think about who you're having kids with and make sure it's the right man.
100%. 100%. Because if not, it's only you that's going to suffer.
Ugh.
It's only you that's going to suffer. But then again, though, in this current economic state, is it even fair to put that much financial pressure on a man? Because we have to actually consider their mental health as well.
Yeah.
And we have to consider what their needs are going to be as well. So, for example, if they say whatever your income is together, he might need to rely on your income because he might need to also have income for himself. Because what happens sometimes is that the woman keeps all of her income and then he's spending all his money. Resentment grows.
But the thing
is, how do we find the balance with that? Because while I'm not an advocate for 50-50, I'm also not an advocate for being selfish.
100%. No, of course. And that's why there is important to have balance. But I always see it as, with the woman's income, that money should be like a pot of savings for the household, for example.
Okay, that makes sense.
A pot of something for the household. The reason why I say a man shouldn't rely on his woman's income is more so because, like, I mean, if you don't plan on having kids with your woman, then you lot go for gold.
Yeah.
But if you're planning on having kids, it is because of that whole situation of having to go on mat leave, having to go on mat leave, and if you want to have back-to-back kids, then she may be in and out of work constantly. She may not be in an industry that's very flexible. She might have to then take a pay cut.
Yeah.
She may need to look at alternative work, or maybe you decide maybe he will look at alternative work and she'll go back to her work.
Yeah.
Like, it really depends on what works for your household.
Yeah.
But either way, when kids come into it, it is very hard to have a 50-50 financial household. But I do feel like there needs to be balance across the board for
100%.
the family. So it might be that you look after the kids more, he provides more financially.
Yeah.
It's not to say that you don't give anything to the household, but maybe it's you may not be able to provide as much as you once were before kids were in the picture.
Facts.
Because you might have to take a different route within your career.
Yeah.
Or even, different route.
Women are some of the most adaptable people
we are massively.
I've seen. Because
we are.
Honestly, sometimes when I see women with kids, I'm like, I don't even know how you're doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're doing it. Somehow they managed to make the kid get food. Somehow they managed to get the kids to school on time. Somehow they managed to get themselves looking good. Somehow they managed to look after their husband. Somehow they managed to do it. I'm just sat there like, I'm complaining about going to work 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Monday to Friday.
I'm complaining about even just getting up and going to the gym. And I'm seeing some of these mothers like in the gym, going to work, meeting out with friends, going swimming with the baby, doing this,
swimming
doing
with the
that,
baby,
still vlogging. I'm just like,
How?
How
are they doing it?
But then that probably also comes with the balance in the household. Maybe the husband is working from home. He's able to take a couple of hours out of his day to allow you to go to the gym, to allow you to have you time. Because that's also very important.
It is. You know what, though? Again, is it about being tactical on who you're dating? Because you know what? These things also come from a man that's emotionally intelligent, family support. So again, do you want to date someone who's not close with their family or doesn't speak to their family? Me personally, not really. Because I'm trying to call your mum to come babysit. What do you mean? See that sister of yours is older than me. She's come collect her children.
It's so important.
So I'm like, you want to really think about who it is you're actually dating and who it is you're marrying. Like you said, that you're having kids with, because if he's a loser. And also, let's talk about DNA.
Oh, God.
If your man's a loser, and with no brain, can you imagine what your baby's going to come out like?
Like, they'll be doing Dundee. They'll be like, it's like, you can't be doing... sorry, it's not okay.
Yeah.
But that's actually a big thing. DNA is actually, we can't sleep on this. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Because
I'm like, 50 on DNA, I'm like, I'll be praying much, I'll be getting my brain though sometimes. You know what I mean? Because if you're going to go and date some dum-dum, I'm sorry.
we're going to be, no, I can't be fighting. Like, no.
And it's like, you know what? Fighting in life is one thing, but trying to fight DNA, you're done. You're done.
There's no hope. There's no helping hand.
No, none. So, ladies, let's start thinking about who it is we're talking to.
Yeah.
Because
he's got to be more than looks, girls. It can't just be,
looks, yeah.
Oh, he's cute. He's got a button nose. No. What's his brain saying? What's his DNA saying?
Yeah, and that's another topic I think we're going to definitely talk about because it's like, you know how we always talk about like, oh, everyone wants to date a high value man.
Yeah.
High value and high income, they're two different things.
High value brain. Let's talk about it. High value DNA.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Was it Ocho Cinco that was basically like I think his wife is like an athlete or something. Well, she does some form of exercise or whatever, and he was like, yeah, I did that on purpose so my children can be athletes. He's an athlete, she's an athlete. Let's make this work.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It actually makes sense.
Yeah, otherwise you want to go and marry one slugger and you think a child's going to be like coming first in the race. They're at the back. They're not even in, they didn't even get asked to do relay.
I'm tired.
They didn't even get asked for relay. So, girls, ladies and gentlemen,
think twice
before you marry a sluggo, or you date one too, to be honest. But again, I always feel like you date out, what's the right way to say it? You date from a point of yourself. Yeah.
You date from a point of yourself. Yeah. Is how you translate in dating.
I say that though, but sometimes I feel like you can get trapped in situations. Because you know, because people present themselves to be one thing, and then 2 years down the line, they can't start. They have to, you know, they start acting crazy. All of a sudden, it's like everything that's coming out. So you just but you get what I mean? Because people present to be one thing, right? And then 3 months later, you're like, who is this person?
Yeah, you're like,
I don't know you.
So you don't know how to wash your clothes? Okay, you don't know how to cook.
No, that's cook. Can't do nothing.
You don't brush your teeth?
You want 1 week no bath?
You literally start thinking, but yeah, people always put their best foot forward.
Yeah. So let me take that back in terms of you date from a place of self-worth. But if you stay, then you're doing it from a place of self, like where you value yourself. Yeah. Because let him go.
Yeah.
Throw him back to the jungle where he belongs.
It's dead weight.
And men too. If she's not useless, throw her back to the streets. Okay, somebody else will date her.
Cut off the dead weight.
Literally. Anchors. Goodbye. That's it. But guys, let us know what you think about the whole 50-50 thing, because I'm very curious to know, because it's not even just about finances anymore. It's literally about life. Yeah. Everything needs to be incorporated in this 50-50 conversation.
Exactly.
But show me the money, though.
Exactly. It's 50-50 about finances. Is it about life balance? Like,
what's it about? Yeah. Also, shout out Common Stevens, because this wine is scrumptious.
Delicious.
I'm going to have another sip for you guys before we say au revoir.
It's lovely.
Honestly, if this was chilled,
divine. But thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you in the next one.